Yeah, man. I basically create a course on this. There's probably an hour and a half worth of content to actually give you the step-by-step to become an Amazon bestseller. Becoming a bestseller is not shouldn't be the main goal. That should be just an ingredient of the whole thing. So if I were to take a step back and just say, okay, before you even start to write a book, reverse engineer how you're going to use it. Start with the end in mind, the moniker that you want to create in the next year or 3 years or 5 years. Who are you in the future? What does that person look like? What do they dress like? Who are they surrounded by? More importantly than anything else, what are they going to offer the world? Start to identify that. Now break it down into these generic lessons that you want to offer to individuals so you can help them get to where you're at now, whether it's with a service or a product or an idea or a life philosophy, whatever it is. Break down the lessons that you would like to teach the world. Generic lessons. We look for 15. Write those down on a napkin, a bullet point list, whatever. And then put a dash and put a story, a sentence, a word, a story that taught you that lesson. It could be what your grandfather showed you whenever you're 7 years old. It could be whenever your client screwed you over last week. It doesn't matter. Give me the story, because the people who are reading your book will want to know the lesson, because nobody cares about you until you help them with their life. And then the story, because nobody really will trust you until they know your backstory, so where you come from, what you believe. Because if you have these three things, the lesson, the story, and the target audience in mind, it's easy for you to get down and start writing this book. We believe, and this is our philosophy, outsource the writing. All the books that I've read that are very, very, very important to me, most likely had 100 different editors or a different writer than the person who actually gets the credit for. It's ghostwritten for a reason. Sharon Lecter wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because Kiyosaki is the brand builder. He's the guy who's the genius when it comes to building the board games and the name and getting himself out there. Very intelligent guy. The last thing he's going to do is sit down and write a book, which probably he would spend about maybe at least 100 to 200 hours writing it minimum. So he would outsource. We believe that as long as you have the lesson and the story, you can sit down with someone like me. We would interview you. My team would hear your Zoom call. Basically, it's a 2-hour interview one day, 2-hour interview another day. We break everything down, have the conversation. The average person speaks roughly about 150 words per minute. So if I could just keep you talking, we're going to get the story and lesson and all the details and everything that is important to this chapter out of you. Take that content, I send it to a writer. The writer writes it 30 days later, sent back to you. Now it's time for you to review your own book and make adjustments. Okay. You tweak, you take out, you add in, you really make it yours. This is where you get the tonality on point. There's a reason why we try to do things in such a short window. When you start to write a book, if you would spend 2, 3, 4 years writing a book, you are going to evolve and change over those 4 years so drastically that by the time you get to chapter 15 on your terms, chapter 1, 2, and 3 may not be even relevant to you. You are going to evolve. That's why we recommend you do get a ghostwriter to get this book done. It's going to be your story and your lessons. It's almost like a videographer or a web developer. Just hire someone to get the major bulk there, and then you can go in and tweak. Then we help you out with title and subtitle. We give you cover designs. You pick all your favorite covers, make adjustments, read your book, make adjustments, upload to Amazon. Amazon will print your book for roughly $4 per copy. You get it in the mail. You get it in a matted finish or a glossy cover, 6x9, at least 120 pages, at least 25,000 words, which is about a 2-hour read. And now you get to make your final adjustments. You say, man, this is a real book. By the way, you'll never, ever forget what it's like to get your book in the mail for the very first time. It's unbelievable. I still couldn't believe it whenever I got Dreamstarter, my first book, in the mail. Anyways, you get in the mail, you look at it one last time, you make final adjustments, you give me the thumbs up, and then we put you on the schedule to become an Amazon bestseller. Sounds like a scam, I know that, but it's actually very easy if you understand leverage, positioning, and timing. And I think that that's really the recipe for all life. If you are able to leverage all your resources and you're able to time it right, all right, then man, you can be dangerous in everything in life. So we leverage our network, we position it on a certain category on a certain day, and then my network and your network all buy the book, the Kindle version. 3-hour window. 8 hours later, you're an Amazon bestseller in at least one category. You can add the bestseller logo to it, change your bio. Now your name is associated with a best-selling book referencing something that is tied to your dream moniker that we talked about. So even if they don't read the book, they're going to say, Doug Greathouse, he wrote the book, The Entrepreneur Journey. Oh, he has a podcast called The Entrepreneur Journey. I guarantee that Doug Greathouse has something to do with the entrepreneur journey. And so if I want a podcast interview or if I want to have some type of guest speaker, I want a guy who wrote the book on the entrepreneur journey. So now you're basically just leaving all these breadcrumbs to make it easy on the market for them to understand what you're all about. Book gets done. You create the free plus shipping funnel. You generate attention via social media. You get a lot of attention on other podcasts and speaking gigs that you've done. And now you can start to build this tribe. Matters more on the back end than the front end. So our goal is 75 days, start to finish, Amazon best-selling book. And then right after it's a bestseller, create your own website, your own funnel, and start to create a tribe. The moment you can look around and have 200, 300, 400 people that are on your side, that believe in you, that trust in you, that you can help them get to the next level, now you have an army, and that's what we shoot for.